Good morning. Hey, I'm glad you could join us. I want to share something that I picked up from my friend Bob Goff. Yeah, he's my friend. We've chatted on the phone. I've told that story before. If you've got a Bob Goff book, just look in the back. It's got his phone number. You can call him. You can text him if you want to. Hey, Mark chapter 8, verses 24 and 25. It's a really cool story. The blind man looked up and said, I see people. Jesus was healing this guy. He says, I see people. They look like trees walking around. Once more, Jesus put his hands on the man's eyes. Then his eyes were opened and his sight was restored and he saw everything clearly. So Bob Goff says that when he was in law school, there's one of the things they teach you is don't ask, as a lawyer, don't ask a question if you don't know the answer. As a pastor, sometimes I get into situations where I've got to ask questions. And sometimes I am blown away by the answers that I get. They're not at all what I was expecting. But that's another story. But Jesus asks a question here, and I don't think he was shocked. Okay? Because he says, do you see anything? He says to the guy, do you see anything? And what Bob Goff says is he would be tempted to lie because it's like, I see just fine. Jesus, oh, hallelujah. You did a miracle. I see a bunch of trees. No, I think Jesus just might have been testing him just a little bit. Jesus knew the answer to the question. It's not like Jesus didn't have quite enough power or didn't use the right kind of mud that day. But yeah, he says, I see people, but they look like trees. And I've always thought that if people look like trees, it's probably because maybe to a blind person, trees were obstacles, and we don't want to see people that way. But it goes on. See, Bob says he'd be tempted to not be real, to be fake. But we need to be real with God. And if you pray for something and things happen, whatever happens, be real with God and say, okay, I can deal with this, but I just want to be honest, this isn't what I was expecting. I thought you were really going to heal me. I thought you were really going to change this. Whatever it might be real with God. But it doesn't end with the first touch. Jesus touched the man's eyes again. And then his vision is fully restored, which is awesome. This was not a miracle that misfired. Jesus knew exactly how the whole thing was going to go down. And I think he wanted the guy to be truthful and authentic. Authentic enough to admit that he needed Jesus to touch him again. Do you need Jesus to touch you again? I tell you what, I pray a lot of the same things over and over again. And it's like, God, fill my mind with thoughts of you. Give me the helmet of salvation. It's like, how many times have I asked Jesus into my life? How many times have I committed my life to Jesus? Thousands. Thousands of times. Hear the same prayer. But man, what matters, I think, to heaven is that we really mean what we're saying and that we're authentic about it. So we have the story of our lives, and then there's the truth of our lives. Now, I'm not saying you get out there on Facebook and tell everybody everything. It's kind of like TMI. That's way too much information. So, but who are you really honest with? You got to have some people. You got to have some people that you really trust. Sometimes we need to resist the urge to hide who we really are and the important questions that we still have. I'm a pastor, I'm a teacher, but I still got questions. There's a lot of stuff that I don't understand. And I like to say, I feel like I'm learning more now than at any other point in my life. I genuinely mean that. So too many people are living life cautiously, kind of like we have this non-disclosure agreement. Well, I'm not going to say that I'm a Christian. I'm a cheerleader for Jesus. I don't want to make him look bad. People appreciate our honesty. They really do. So if you're struggling right now, give someone who's safe, give them a call and tell them that you can identify with the blind guy, that, yeah, I got touched by Jesus, but I still got some problems. Things aren't going the way that I really need them to. Tell Jesus about some areas that are still a little fuzzy in your life and where you need a second touch. And some of you out there today are like, preacher, I need the second, the third. I'm way down the road, but don't neglect to ask for another touch from Jesus today. God bless you.